with Gripz official. Been waiting to make this happen for a while. We've been talking about it. So how are we both doing?
Yeah, really good. Thanks. Like you say, we've been looking forward to doing this podcast, and just talking all things Gripz. Looking forward to it.
Yep, good as well, mate. Had a really busy morning, but yeah, like you said, we've been meaning to do this for a little while now, haven't we? And keep bumping into each other at the basketball. So glad we can make it happen.
Yeah. So second take, but icebreakers. So if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
On the first take, I really had to think about it, but I know what I said now. So my superpower would be immortality, for obvious reasons. I think it'd be a great superpower to have. And then I'll add on to that, I would give immortality to whoever I decided deserved it as well. I think that would be pretty cool. Obviously, there'd be big repercussions with that. Obviously, there's too many people on the planet as it is. So the planet might end up going to Mars with Elon Musk, who knows? But with superpowers come big repercussions. I'm well aware of that.
I'm actually going to change mine from the first time around.
What yours was?
Reading the mind. I'm going to copy yours a little bit, but yeah, mine would be to stop time. Just think back some of the times when you've been traveling and stuff like that, and like you're just having the best time of your life. I just love to kind of like freeze that moment and stay in that moment.
It's only after that moment that you realise how good it was, in it every single time.
It's like I remember I went to V-Fest, the V Festival, my first year. I think it was probably about your age. And I went and like it was like, oh, we're in this tent. I'm not used to this, and hungover every morning. And then you leave, and you're like, oh my god, that was the best week ever.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah. So the next one, if you could have an hour's lunch with anyone, who would it be? Dead or alive, anyone?
Yeah, mine would be my two grandfathers. I sadly never got to meet any of them, never had any grandfathers, and I see some of the relationships that good friends have with their grandparents, and it really warms the cockles of my heart and also makes me somewhat envious. So I'd have dinner with my grandparents and see the man who raised my mum and the man who raised my dad, and that I feel like that'd be pretty cool.
Mine's coming from a different perspective. It's definitely I'd love to go with two guy. He was a Blackburn centre midfielder. My granddad took me for years watching Blackburn home and away, and he was just an absolute hero. He's number 5. That's my lucky number now, all based on tugs. And yeah, I'd love to just kind of go with him and just like learn from him how he play. I love playing football myself, and my granddad used to tell me, like, he used to say, sit and just watch two guy, don't watch anyone else on the field. So yeah, but I play nowhere near like him, but I could try.
You could score screamers, couldn't you?
Oh, I can score screamers.
See.
So with Gripz, was it always the two of you kind of came together and thought, we want to start a brand, and then went from there, or was it one person's idea and then the other joined?
Yeah, so it's really funny how it started. Really, obviously, I play rugby professionally, so I'd always had the idea, but never had the time to build a business because it takes a long time to kind of put the foundations in place. But lockdown hit, jobs were affected, sport was severely affected, and I started, you start worrying. And Jack's got his own construction business, the Jamell Group. Jack's got his own construction business, the Jamell Group. So Jack was kind of like the business mind, and we were speaking, and one of our mentors now and good friends, Rob Stewart, he was giving us some advice when we were coming to him with some ideas, and we decided to launch it. I think in lockdown, the first 3 days, I thought it was unreal, like lions, watching Netflix all day, and then I started to feel disgusting. And after that, I was just like, no, I need to put my mind to something and focus on something. And it's the best thing I've ever done. So yeah, it all started from there, and then we were doing to-do lists every day. We were emailing to-do lists to each other, and it was all going on at the same time that I was having my first kid. So it was a crazy time, but it was probably the best memories.
Yeah, basically reiterate what Joel said. It was, but for me, my construction sites all came to a halt, so you weren't allowed to step on site. And then even after that, it was kind of, they were trying to keep as little people on site as possible. So yeah, it was kept us busy, didn't it? It was good. Like you say, I think if we didn't do that, it would have been very easy to just like lie in bed and just be a slob. But we had something to work to, me both. both worked hard on it, didn't we?
Started journaling. We were self-development, everything. Them few months were.
They were
really
yeah, they're good.
Yeah. So was it always going to be Gripz? Was there any other ideas in place for a business?
Name wise, we were just chucking names at each other. I'd love to think like I read the Shoe Dog story, about the owner of Nike, and they were telling you about all the. I think they used to be called the Blue Ribbon Shoe Company or something like that. Nah. But Nike was just like oh, Nike, like just chucked it out there because he climbed a mountain called the Temple of Nike. And I love stories like that, but I can't think what other things we were thinking of because we knew that our initial idea was the grips on the sock. So, and we checked all the trademarks of different companies, didn't we? And yeah, I just feel like it worked perfectly. And I would love that. I'd love to know what other names we're thinking of at the time.
Well, I've actually got a folder on my laptop, haven't I, called The Journey.
Yeah.
And one of our good friends, Ethan, he designed the logo. So we got him involved. But we both look at them, don't we, from time to time. We've got like basically like all different designs and the ones before we went with this one. It's bad, isn't it? But going back to like the product and why we chose it, like obviously we knew Joe's in sport, isn't he? So we said like, what's it missing? So he said like his grip socks, we won't mention any other brands or anything, but he said like they're just not working for him. Some of them like the silicone peel off the bottom. Other ones, they don't go up the heel and stuff like that. So if we thought we can take all the best bits from all of the grip socks, plus add in our Parks material, which stops the odor and stuff like that, we can make hopefully the perfect grip sock. But had good feedback so far.
And it was mad, like learning the manufacturing process, like going from people who've not really had too much to do with apparel. Like you send off your idea and then it comes back and you see it and you're like, oh my gosh, like just a design is now, actual material. And then we sent them back, wanted them changing, they sent them back 6 times. We went back and forth. It took us months to finally get a product because one of the main things that we say is we want to put things like, we wouldn't want to put anything out that you wouldn't want to wear yourself because we've put our names to the brand, you know what I mean? So you don't want to put out items that you're not happy with. So it's been a really, really intriguing process and it's been rewarding.
So I guess kind of to anyone that might be wondering, just kind of seeing the brand on social media or whatever, but they might not quite know what a grip kind of sock is. Kind of what's the purpose of that sock?
Well, I think in sport it's all about all the 1% things that you can improve. Your diet. Well, your diet's not a 1%; it's a 10%. But like the little 1% edges that you can get on your opponent. And it's what I'd describe as an extra 1%. So it's you change your direction, keeping stable in your boot. Because football boots and trainers these days, they've all become so lightweight because the lighter they are, the faster the athlete can move. But with them being that lightweight, people's feet are moving around in the socks and in the shoes, and you can roll your ankles and all sorts. So I see it as a real 1% performance benefit. But then that's how it started. But then I was wearing them in the gym for my deadlifts and noticed a big improvement there. And then just for lifestyle, people have been wearing them climbing mountains. And I really do feel like they can cater to many markets.
Yeah, just touching on what Joe said, I never actually really used to wear grip socks too much. Well, I didn't at all. But now, like, if I ever forget them, I'm driving home before training or a football match because I literally can't play without them. But yeah, you can just tell the difference. It's like once you've worn them, you'll never go back. And on top of that, I think we've built like a community at the minute, like within like the Gripz family, calling not the Gripz gang. People like want to be in them and they want to show them off. And, like they love tagging us in the stuff, which is mint. So yeah, as well as the performance benefits of it, like people love wearing them, don't they? Yeah.
So with the launch in lockdown, it was a quiet time, and you mentioned people like tagging you in things. Did you kind of anticipate the kind of reaction you got? Because it seemed like, I know when I first saw it, it seemed like it was just all like that.
I always knew we could tackle rugby. We could hit the rugby market. But I never thought we'd like people like Olly Murs. Like Olly, obviously we've got a good friend, Callum, haven't we? Who It helped us out big time. Like we got into Soccer Aid pretty early on. So that was huge for us. People like Emil Heskey, Olly Murs, Danny Jones from McFly. They all wore the brand. So that was huge. Mark Wright. And then these sort of people like Mark Wright and Olly Murs and stuff, they were taking them home, washing them and then re-wearing them. So we were like, yeah, and Tommy Mallet as well, yeah. So we're like, these have got millions of followers on Instagram. How do we get hold of these? So we tried messaging Ollie at first, didn't we? And like, got no reply. Yeah, but then we seen that he carried on wearing them all the time. So we're like, we've got to get hold of him. So we had to think outside the box. So I messaged his personal trainer, didn't I, Danny? Who owns a celebrity gym in Essex. And he was like, yeah, no problem. Send him down. I can hand them out to him. And we've actually become really, really good mates with Danny now. We meet up with him loads and go for food and whatever. We've got the charity match, but I'll let you touch on that in a minute. But yeah, that's how we kind of got into it, and it's kind of spread from boxing to everywhere. Like we've been in world title fights, haven't we? Natasha Jonas against Marcus Morrison's, yeah. So we've had cricket, we're pretty big. Basketball we're into now, so yeah, it's going well.
Yeah, just trying to penetrate all markets. And I know you said it looks like it's going like that, which is obviously a good thing. But I'm going to give Jack a rap here. Is like things that people don't see is Jack is he's pesting people 24/7. He's not, and that's how as a brand you grow. You've got to do the best with what you've got. And I think that's probably one of your strongest points.
Just never take no for an answer, do we? If they don't see it, there's got to be another way we can get into them from somewhere.
Yeah, well, a little story. Basically, we was in Soccer Aid last year, and Puma sponsored Soccer Aid this year, so there was no way we could get into it because they wouldn't let any other sports brands in. And Jack was like, "Oh, I want to make my own, mate," and I was like, "Okay, yeah, you make your own." And Jack's been on the side, so I've finished my rugby season, so I've gone and played for England. So I went away then, and then I went on my holidays with my family and my little lad. And in about 3 weeks, Jack has made a charity football match with the owner of VIPHQ Essex, who he's just talked about there, Danny. Create a charity football match, and you should see the stars that we've got playing in it. It's all over our Instagram. I don't want to miss anyone's names out, but the person I'm most looking forward to is James English. I listen to his podcast all the time, and he's lacing the boots up for us. And little things like that. Well, it's not little things; it's a big thing because a lot of people think in their head, "I want to do that," but then the biggest skill that you can have is taking action on that thought, because a lot of people just think it and then that thought just dies away. Go and watch Netflix, and that's it. Whereas I feel like Jack, your biggest asset is action taking, which you look at every great business owner. We watch so many interviews. Lewis Morgan, Ben Francis, who created Gymshark. That's probably everyone's aspiration when they start up a business, and you listen to what they say, and it's very attainable if you have the mindset and the drive to do it. And I feel like that's a big thing.
I think it's like say not taking no for an answer. Like Puma have not let us into Soccer Aid, so right, let's do our own Soccer Aid. And now we've actually got players from Soccer Aid, Olly Murs. There's others that I can't announce yet because we've not announced them, but who played at Soccer Aid. I nearly slipped up there. But a big one that played at Soccer Aid, Harriet Pavlou, she's playing as well. Great following, great footballer. But yeah, it's like I say, you've just got to take action. Another thing is like when you put it out to the universe, obviously I've said to Joe, I am going to do this. So if he's not back off his holiday and I've not sorted something, then I look like a bit of a fool.
Yeah. And I'll get like a exclusive.
You'll see it on the gram.
Give you a chorus, the band is from.
Because obvious. All right, that's all you're getting. But I think as well, like we've got different strengths, and that the best part is they always say about the business partner you choose, and Jack takes a lot of things off my plate that I'm not the best with. I mean, social media, I am the thing is for me, right, being an athlete as well, I really should be better on social media because I feel like I could get a lot out of my social media, but I just struggle to update it, and because there's a lot of things that I disagree with on social media that I feel like it's people's highlights reel, and I like to keep it 100, keep it real. Whereas Jack, you're really good. You're really good on the socials, and then I've took kind of like the email side. I've really been turned into an email nerd, and I'm enjoying that. And we just work well together because yin to the yang, exactly.
say, I guess that was kind of the perfect team, you know, complementing each other's strengths. Kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you know, so it started off kind of, I guess, did it start off just with the socks originally?
Yeah.
So is it now, obviously, you know, you got the shirts and everything. Is the aspiration kind of to go into kind of an activewear brand in general, or you know, kind of what's the goal for Gripz?
Yeah, so we started with the Gripz socks, obviously the 5 colours. I think it was the biggest. Like we hummed and hard, didn't we, so much on whether to expand into like a full activewear range or to stick with the socks. Obviously, last winter we brought out the Snoods neck warmers. They did really well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Sold out in them. So I think we just gathered if we start bringing more items to the website and stuff, like possibilities are endless again, aren't they? And you can just go from there. Keep bringing out new product lines.
Yeah, but then at the same time, we were cautious that we don't want to turn into like a car boot sale who sell. We're selling socks, or we sell it. So we really, when Jack says we hummed and hard, we were putting difficult questions to each other, like how does this fit the brand? And we was like Gripz, like every item of clothing grips you in a certain way. And we again got so many samples of clothing that we were not happy with. And when we got the debut tees, the debut quarter zips, the debut shorts, we said that grips you in the perfect way. It sounds cringy, but we was like, no, that is on brand. And because we don't want to, like, you know, people are saying, are you going to start doing caps? Are you going to start doing hats? Are you going to start doing slippers? And I'm like, no, it doesn't, that doesn't fit. Like, we want to stay on brand. Sports accessories, activewear, we feel like is very much on brand. So a few things that we want to tap into is the female activewear side of things as well. However, 2 males, we've got a lot of female friends, and obviously I've got my girlfriend who we can tap into, but we've not quite delved into that yet. I feel like we want to kind of really smash what we're doing for now, and then and then it's the snowball effect, isn't it? Once you gather momentum, you just keep going.
Awkward handshake. So, you know, obviously, you know, you mentioned you got like Olly Murs, you know, wear socks. How did you go about, you know, getting all these players to, or all these stars, you know, wearing them? Was it a case of you sending them out, or was it just all right, you know, that's my brand kind of thing, you know? So did you send them out, or did they just happen to wear them?
Yeah, so like I just said then about in our to-do list, we would send weekly to-do lists, and I think one of the things at the start that we had on it was to DM 10 people each per day. Am I right?
Yep.
DM 10 people each per day. People who we deemed were like, who would be worth sending free product to, who we might get a shout out off, and then we might get a few of their followers buy our brand, etc. So I think our first initial thing was like, they have to be blue tick, over 10k followers, have good engagement, and we just went from there. And we kind of were just sending products into some people, hopefully get a few sales. Sometimes they wouldn't even post, and you know, you're just like, but you know, that's just kind of owning the brand. You go through the peaks and the troughs, but that's how we began things, yeah. But then now, Jack will tell you, like, now we get people message us like, can I have some, or sometimes they're like, you got any discount codes? But that but you know, people who we see as a good fit for the brand, we're always looking for new athletes to wear our garments, because you know, people with big followings and with loyal fan bases, seeing them wear things, obviously would go on to do it. So it's just kind of picking the right people for the brand.
Yeah, just to add to that as well, we get quite a few team orders now, don't we? From, like, we've had Blackburn Rovers ladies, Sunderland women, Sheffield women, the cricket team in Wales,
Welsh Fire, was it?
Welsh Fire. So yeah, like I said, it started off kind of gifting to who we saw would be suitable, and like their following would be suitable, and now it's kind of we have some of them coming to us buying them now, which is great.
Yeah. Well, we kind of like I said, to get started up with a brand and to kind of get your name out there, that's what you've got to do. And now we've probably got a lot stricter with who fits the category where they get gifted. Yeah.
I guess the name of for the basketball audience, Jack Hudson, Joey, and Dave
Ulph.
And Jamell. Is that it, or is there more?
There's more, but in terms of the pros, it's
Yeah.
Okay, so as a brand in general, I guess there's always this when I think of it kind of never stops. And how hard did you have, as a team, did you have to work, to kind of get the whole brand off the ground in that lockdown?
Well, that was if starting the brand again. I couldn't start another brand now because I'm back into my commitments of rugby, and because it was a good 6 months non-stop of long days, when it grafting, deal with manufacturers. You're up at the crack of dawn because your manufacturers up at different work times, whatever. So it was a lot of hard work, but now the foundations are in place, and we can, and like you said, but the brand never stops. Like you said, you are non-stop. Like I was on my holidays thinking, like I'm on walks thinking my girlfriend's talking to me, and I'm miles away because I'm thinking of different things. Like that is just what happens, and people say it and you think, nah, that won't happen to me, but you live it. But I kind of love it at the same time.
Yeah, it's just to be fair, like you said, to start off, it was like all go, wasn't it? Like obviously we were talking to like 5 different suppliers, weren't we? And getting samples from all of them. So it was a lot of dealing and communication and stuff like that. Now like systems are in place, like we just press repeat orders and they're here and stuff like that. But yeah, the start was long hours, wasn't it? It was like staying up till like 3 a.m. to talk with suppliers, and I was back up at like 7:30 for work and for being on site and stuff like that. And but yeah, it's good. Wouldn't change it though. Like you say, it doesn't feel like work, does it? I mean, me and you, we speak all day, every day. Like it's just like we're texting each other, but we're talking about work without knowing we're talking about work. A lot of it's fun as well. Like,
I guess that's the thing if you enjoy it.
Yeah, like my construction. I mean, I can go to meetings and I'm like coming home with headaches, like arguing over money and numbers and whatever else. And whereas here, it's like we're going doing a charity football match with a load of celebs and ex-pros and like raising money for St. Francis. Yeah, 28th of November. It's going to be streamed on Twitch, or if you're local to Essex or want to make the travel, the tickets they're in our link in our bio, Eventbrite. But yeah, should be a good day, as well as all the celebs and ex-pros that are playing. There's going to be loads more celebs down. We've got entertainment on. DJs are playing. There's face painting for the kids and penalty shootouts and all stuff like that. So it'll be a really, really good day. There's an after party with all the pros and celebs and that as well. But yeah, just love going. We love meeting new people as well, don't we?
Yeah.
Like we went to Essex, didn't we, to go and see Danny, and we just messaged Wow Hydrate on the off chance, just to kind of to pick the brains, really, wasn't it? Yeah. To go and
they've really penetrated the sports market, haven't they? Recently?
Yeah. So they've smashed it in terms of like having influencers on board and stuff like that. So we just wanted to have a little chat with them, really. We were quite lucky that they replied. Went into their office. They kind enough to give us some drinks, or anything. Yeah. Give us loads of info, and again, we've become really good mates with Jamie Reid, who's like head of sales there. And yeah, they invited us to. I went to their pop-up shop in London the other week and played in a football tournament for them, and then they're playing for Gripz FC, aren't they?
Yeah. Also, I think the best thing about the business, as like Jack said, the people we've met is one, and the skills that we've learned. Like we've learned so many skills. Like every day we're learning. And I feel like that's the best thing, because I'm a person, me, who when I learn something new, I feel like, wow, do you know what I mean? Like it really like lights up my brain, and I'm really into that side of things. And when we were first starting, who was it who recommended the 6-minute diary? Was it you?
Yeah.
Was it you recommended it?
Recommended it to me.
Yeah, someone recommended it to you. I can't remember, but one of the successful people who we met got us into journaling. So we started journaling. Then someone else who we've met was getting us into listening to business podcasts, got us into some good podcasts, and you're learning more, and you're just educating your mind to kind of the people who are levels above you, who you aspire to get to. And I feel like I was in that place, me, where I'd finished training. And when I said like, oh, you go and watch Netflix, that was just normal. Like, I feel like, oh, I'm playing rugby, I'm doing well for myself. Like that's really good, but that doesn't last forever. Whereas now I feel like I've got my mind at a place where, you know, I've kind of set out my goals now for the next few years, and it excites me because I've really like turned on a fire inside my mind, and that's been the best thing for me.
Yeah. So moving on to kind of the question, well, one of them that's been sent in is for both of you, who's been the most, I guess, famous person to wear them, or your favorite, you know, person that's worn the brand?
For me, like, over any famous person, I know this is diverting from the actual question, but from seeing any famous person is like when I go to Six Side on a Monday night and some strangers got them on who spent their hard-earned money. That's the best feeling ever for me, and seeing people in the gym in our apparel and stuff like that. Every single time I see someone, I get a little buzz. Like, but in terms of pros or famous people, I've been a Blackburn fan my whole life. Watched like since I come out of the womb, I was in a Blackburn kit, and seeing the Blackburn lads in them just mint. Become friends with John Buckley, who plays with him now, and he's been great. He's passed them out around Blackburn, and Tyrese Dolan and Bradley Dax had him on, hasn't he? And
He had him on his TV show with Olivia, didn't he?
Yeah.
I was watching on ITV2. I can't remember what the show was called. What was it? Can't remember. Yeah, Bradley Dack and Olivia's show, and he was going viewing a house. Olivia meets a match, yeah, and he was viewing a house, and I was like, yeah, his grips on. I was pausing it, sending it, Jack, get on this. My favourite is a recent one we've got is Simicast from Liverpool. Yeah, big Liverpool fan, and to see him absolutely loving him is a good feeling. But you know, we've had some real good people, like Jack said, Olly Murs, and Andreas Pereira. We've had quite a few big ones where.
Okay, so is there anything in the pipeline, or you know, anything that's not been announced that you've got?
We've got a few little things. So obviously, Black Friday's coming up, and then we were hoping to throw a little surprise out after Black Friday. That would be ideal. Obviously, all depending on timings and supply issues and stuff. But to be honest, it's just all about for us just organically keep growing, keep evolving to the different times. Something that is in the pipeline is we're going to start taking TikTok a lot more serious. We've been slacking on there, and that's where everyone's attention is at the minute. So maybe get following us at Gripz Official on TikTok, and you'll be able to see some sick snaps.
Yeah, you've covered it all really. Just another little thing that we've got in the pipeline. Obviously, this charity match. We've agreed to do a 2-legged match, so the return fixture will be back this way, around Manchester area, first weekend of May. So obviously we'll have some more local stars from around here that couldn't make the trip this time, and we'll choose obviously this time we're doing it for St Francis Hospice in Essex, which is a local charity down there, which is close to Danny's heart. So when it comes back this way, we will choose a local charity to do it to and make a big day of it. Hopefully it's nice and sunny, and see some top celebs there.
So the next question that's been sent in, the final question is to Joe. How did you manage, I guess, you know, what doing the grip work and then at the same time with Warren Wolves?
Yeah. So sorry. So like I said at the start, getting things started, I weren't in training, and then I'm an early riser, me, like really, really early riser. So say I had to be in training for 8 o'clock, I'm up at 5 o'clock. And I used to just do, like, I can do some deep work from like 5:30 in the morning till about 7:30. Like I can do 4 hours work because that's just the time of the day where my mind is switched on. However, like I said, I've got a child now and he likes to wake up early as well. So it became different. So I was at first doing that. And then when I get home from training, do bits more, but I get most of my work done in the morning, to be honest. But then when Bobby started waking up early and I started slacking a bit because I couldn't, like, you cannot do, with a child in your house, you cannot do any work. I don't care what anyone says, unless I went and bought a bigger house that had an office in it, but I'm not ready to do that yet. So then my routine back end of last season was I was up, and then Starbucks opened at 6. So I was at Starbucks around the corner from training, do work for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, go and train, and then come home, rest a little bit, and then I do a little bit more in the evening. So it kind of, because what I was very conscious of is rugby is everything to me. You know, I'm an international rugby player, and that's my number one. It's my passion, it's my drive, it's everything. But then Gripz, I absolutely love that as well, and that's my number one. So I feel like I'm just in such a fortunate position that I can balance the two, and one's not getting in the way of the other, and the other's not getting in the way of that. So I think just managing your time effectively. I mean, some people, you know, say they started training at 9 o'clock, they'd just be like, right, get up at 8, get to training last minute. Whereas, you know, I know that my goals are more important than an extra half an hour in bed. So, and I make sure I'm still getting me 8 hours of sleep because I'm an athlete, and I go to bed at 9 o'clock at night. So 9 till 5, that's my sleeping times.
But just on top of that as well, pretty like we're very relaxed. We like if Joe's dealing with, if I'm on holiday or whatever, and Joe's dealing with whatever manufacturer or whatever, like we both trust each other to just press go and we'll go with it, don't we? It's like if he's got a busy week with England, then I'll just take the workload, and then I like to run away on holiday on a day's notice. So Joe then takes over.
That's what I mean. Jack's like last few weeks, obviously, so my season's come to an end and it's very stressful. The rugby season got knocked out and we didn't want to get knocked out. My head was a bit everywhere. And then I went on to England camp, and then I went on holiday with my missus. So Jack's had quite a lot over the last few weeks. But I've come back with the fire burning again, haven't I? I'm texting him at 4:45.
Manual leave me.
I'm texting him at 4:45, and I'm leaving him like texts this big on WhatsApp. Got this idea, got this. And Jack wakes up and he's like, what are you on about?
At about 2 a.m. We've got the clock covered between us, haven't we? I stay up till about 2 a.m. and he's up at 5. So, I mean, I'm up at 7:30 every morning, but he's, like you say, I have about a week's worth of work sent over to me by the time I wake up.
Yeah. Well, you know, it was great talking, you know, great getting insight on how it all started and everything, you know, that's happening. And I guess everyone, you know, that's watching it, you know, look ahead for 28th of November.
Yeah, 28th of November. And then, like I said, if it's a bit too far, that one, we've got the return one in the first weekend of May. Thanks for having us. Up the Giants.
Let's go.